Abhiyan was in NICU for 2.5, almost 3 months. It was only when he was 2.5 kilos that they allowed us to take him home. And he was home with us for just 21 days before his next surgery. And his second surgery was so basically they took the intestine out, so they put something called a stoma, they create a stoma. And I didn't allow any nurse to touch him. I used to dress him myself. And when he went back for surgery, the doctor said he would be in hospital for a minimum of 21 days because that's how long it will take for the intestine to heal, for him to start passing motions. Oh my God, I was so potty obsessed. I still am. Moms know, right? That obsession. Yeah, but in my case, even more so. On day 9, this child was ready to come home. So, for me, while we had all kinds of tough moments, I think just watching this child's fortitude and I believed only one thing through this time, that he had chosen me because I had prayed very hard for him and he was not going to leave me. I believed that with all my heart. But you can all imagine how terrifying most of those moments may have been. And it's just so empowering as a parent to gain that strength from an infant child because it's incredible the kind of life force they come with and exhibit, even though they're so physically tender and small and fragile. He's a badmash now. He's started walking, he speaks over 50 words, he's full of life and energy and fun and gratitude. So anything you hand Abhiyan Azad dekhi, you say, thank you.
So Nisha has been a part of the industry, the film and television industry for 21 years. She's acted in soap operas, movies, reality shows and all of it. She is a mother and now a fabulous content creator as well. So thank you Nisha for being here. Said about gratitude, it's easy to say gratitude is, the best attitude, which of course it is. But it's this and its community that actually makes you remember what gratitude means, because it's so easy to become a victim and think of your problems being the biggest, right? I know I do, I have, I'm sure everyone has at some point. But when you start hearing other people's obstacles and things that other people have gone through, suddenly you're like, why was I even...
Firstly, apologies for the delay. I think I've officially taken off this whole thing that I used to have this air about that I'm always on time, so a big apology for that and thank you for waiting. So about the question on how I feel as a mom from the media industry, I believe that, I've gone through a lot of transition periods in my life, like I'm sure most of us have. And right from the time where, there was only conventional advertising to now we've moved to the whole digital world, and thanks to that we're here today. I feel that being a mom in the media industry is definitely not easy because you're judged for, tying your hair in a messy ponytail, or you're required to always be this perfect person. Like they see you on screen, they think that that's how you need to be off screen too. And I believe that just puts an added pressure. I'm sure as moms we're all struggling every day, being a mom just was not hard enough. So I believe that is just an added pressure. But thanks to the changing times that I said, that I belong to a world where I have seen it all, where I come from the time where people have shamed me for many things, and here I am today where we are just a bunch of this strong community where we kind of, root for each other. So it feels good, and gratitude, like she was talking about, that Simone said. I believe that is all I have in my heart right now.
Honestly, Varka, I didn't really get the opportunity to think about too much, only the fact that because of the background that I've already shared, there was just this urgent medical condition that we were all dealing with. So I'm really grateful that I didn't go through any kind of postpartum or any such. I had wonderful care. My gynecologist is just the angel that I think we all need. He was excellent with handling me, especially given the circumstances circumstances, and the support of my family and my mother was just extraordinary. So I can't really think back to anything that I had to struggle with apart from just coping with understanding how I was going to be okay with being away from my child at such an early phase of his life, and how, this wonderful mother shared about how she believed that her breast milk really was the best medicine for her baby. And in my case, I wasn't able to lactate at all. And I think that was one of the most crushing things I had to deal with so early in my, in my child's life, that because he was born so prematurely and he was away from me and we didn't get the chance to even have skin to skin, my body just didn't produce the hormones it needed to. So there was a lot of all of that I had to deal with. But having said that, a lot of people say this to me, you don't look like you just had a baby, or you don't look like you've become a mother. And I'm like, I don't know whether it's a compliment, because I'm pretty certain that if my child had reached full term, my body would have changed a lot more than it did. And it's oftentimes, of course, paid as a compliment, but in my mind, it figures as a reminder for something I was unable to do. And which is why I always tell mothers and, of course, everyone else that we really need to stop stereotyping what a woman should look like when she has a child. And this is a conversation we really need to have a lot more of. Like, Simone, you're gorgeous. Damn, you're hot. And I'm sure everybody says this to you too, right? And I'm sure you have your own set of struggles.
100%. I've done posts on this also.
Exactly. So, yeah, I remember reading one of them. So yeah, it's. I think this is something that we really need to change. But I have to admit that I read so much about postpartum, because I think it's something that every woman must equip herself with the knowledge of, and especially make sure your family understands what postpartum is. I made sure my husband, my mother, everybody read up everything there was on it, and thankfully I was spared. But it can be horrifying for those who are.
Nisha, now since you're here, tell us, what has been your hardest moment as a mother?
Well, everybody's speaking so beautifully here, and I am humbled to be a part of this evening, because it's just so endearing as well as inspiring at the same time to watch every mom out here just casually share. It's just like two friends sitting at a coffee shop and just sharing, that's the best part I like about this evening. So, well, I don't even know which part, because I've been a mother for 5 years now, and Kavish has just turned 5, and before that, I think the hardest part of being a mother is when you carry a child and then you just feel the entire excitement of being a mom, and then one day you don't become one. Like, I lost a child before Kavish when I was 5 months pregnant, and I think that was the hardest part, because there are still those hormones in your body. They're telling you that, oh, you're still a mother, and then your breasts are full, your tummy hurts, and all of those signs that I've even forgotten the signs because it's been so long. But all that soreness in your body and all your shopping lists and the apps you subscribe to, and they're telling you, okay, now your baby's the size of a watermelon and a pumpkin, and then one day you're just not pregnant, and then that's tough. It takes over your life, and your mental health goes for a toss, and then you reach out, and then you form your own community, and you're there for each other. So I feel the hardest of our moments are the moments that make us the strongest, and that's the hard moment that made me strong, because after that I took my own time to come out. It took me 7 years to get over or come to terms with the fact that, okay, my baby is now an angel. And that's when I announced this support group for women on my Motherhood Chronicles page, which is called Goodbye Angel. That's what I used to call my baby. And that's for all the mothers who can come together and, you know, whether born or unborn, whatever, whichever child they've lost, it's for them. And, you know, I'm not a doctor, but I can sure be a friend. So over a DM, I kind of talk to moms and give them strength. I talk about my journey, put them onto my therapist, and those are the little things we can do for each other. So I think the hardest part of being a mom is when one day you wake up and you realize you're not. Yeah.
No, but I mean, I think what happened after I became a mother was that I just became even more fiercely passionate about what I was doing, because I think, I mean, I'm really grateful that I find myself in a place in life where everything that I do is aligned with my purpose, and whether it is creating content or it's telling a story or it's being talk or whatever it is, it's all aligned with what I really care about. And I think what Avyan's birth has done for me is just made me that much more determined to see us through this time. I'm going to share something really important with all the mothers here. You know, unfortunately, environmental action and climate change does not feature as a mainstream conversation, and it's not everybody's priority as it should be, because and I want to address this of mothers because there are these group of mothers at COP27 right now. They call themselves warrior moms, and they're fighting for air quality in Egypt. And unfortunately, what has happened is that we've created a society that is hyper-consumerist, and we've created a world that is just driven by that hyper-consumerism, that we pay very little attention to those things that truly bring balance and health into our lives. Yes, the yoga is important. Yes, the nutrition is important. Yes, it's important to have goals and aspirations in life. But at the end of the day, the one thing and the only thing that determines the health of our children is the health of our planet. And every choice we make each day in our business, in our home, in our individual choices impacts that. And I really want women, and especially mothers, to empower themselves with the knowledge that we need, because we are fighting not for the future of our children's lives, but for their present, today. You know, the AQI today in Bombay is over 258, which is really bad. Eventually, inhaling polluted air is going to create all kinds of complications in our children's lives. And as mothers, it should be our top priority. Call out people who are doing bad things to the environment. Support governments and organizations that are helping improve the state of the environment. And think of all the things we can as individuals do in our everyday lives to improve the state of the environment. So, yeah, I really wanted to share that with everyone today. Thank you. I guess it's a hard fact, but you must have all heard about the Paris Agreement, right? Many nations came together to sign a document that basically promised the world that we would not allow the temperature to rise above 1.5 degrees, because that essentially means that the world that we inhabit will be totally different. It will not be livable for us. We will not know the world the way we know it. We will not know seasons the way we know them. We will not experience the goodness that nature has bestowed on us the way we know it. According to a recent report, given the rate of carbon emissions in 2022, we're looking at a 1.5 degree rise within the next 9 years. That should be a shake-up and a wake-up call for everyone everywhere. And if it isn't for our political leaders, then we have to make damn sure as parents that we make sure it is.
I understand that we can't. Okay, I'm going to speak for myself. I would love to be as sustainable and care about the planet as much as I can, which I do, God knows I do. I can't can't necessarily be 100% plastic free, but what I can and what each one of you can make sure that you do is that you're mindful of the things you're buying, mindful of the things you're using. There's so many amazing options out there. I'm just going to throw a name of a brand. There's a brand called Refillable. Every household product of yours can be ordered from Refillable in glass bottles, and they take it back, and it's amazing. Things like balloons, people used to be like, oh, it's a bit lame that you don't have balloons at your kid's birthday party. It's a small, out of the 100 decor things.
First and foremost, balloons are plastic.
100%. 100%. And I refuse to have balloons at my kid's party. And, my husband asked me once, what if he looks at balloons everywhere else and says, oh, why aren't you doing it? Now, he actually looks at balloons and very well knows the answer. They're destructive to the planet. He's not even 5. He knows the answer. Because it's our duty to, yes, we want those perfect Instagram pictures. It's my kid's party tomorrow. I want a perfect Instagram picture. But it can be perfect without waste and without balloons and without all of that stuff. There's a lot of things we can do if we just are a little bit mindful. And just like Dia said, I literally urge each one of you to please think before, you buy stuff. Think about what it is you're buying. Things may cost a little bit more money. Everyone complains about, oh, my child is sick, my child is coughing again, the air sucks, where do we live, what a country, what a city, blah, blah, blah. Yet comes Diwali and everyone wants to burst crackers. Why, guys? Why? And if, Tanya, are you here? Where are you? No, Tanya, Khubchandani? Oh, she just left. Okay, so Tanya and I put out a reel about, a very sweet reel about how we shouldn't burst crackers this Diwali. Trolled? We were attacked. It was a disaster. I was like, are you guys even kidding me? Why is this even a fight right now? It's a ridiculous fight. My kids had a great time. They took all their laser lights to the terrace and they had a light show of their own, and we played and we had fun, and they didn't have to deal with that air, and they didn't have to deal with being a cause of ruining the planet further. So, what you do is amazing. I don't do half of what you do, but I'm trying, and each one of us needs to try. Make that little, just improve even 5% more every month with what you did the previous month, and you're gold, and we're gold. But we all have to make that change. What superpower would you want to have as a mom?
I think I want to be omnipresent. I want to be a helicopter parent without having that title. I want to watch every time what Kavish is doing. And I want to be a working mom and have all those aspirations and ambitions like a normal human. Yeah. That's all. I'm sure most of us find that. I think it was very heartwarming meeting all the other mums here, sharing their journeys and their stories, and inspiring in such a candid and a casual way. Kabhi we just happen to talk about an incident in our lives that to us was like, okay, ho gaya. But then that becomes a really big inspiration for the one who's listening to it. I think here today, many of those moments happened, whether it was preservation or conservation of the environment, or how to, what we want for our kids, and it was amazing. I think this is the one thing that all human beings can relate to, because all of us have moms, and it's not easy being a mom, but at the same time it's very rewarding being a mom, because you want to protect your child, you want to nurture your child, you want the best for your child, you want to make sure that he has a great routine and he's healthy and he's happy, right from his mental health to his physical exercise, sending him to the best school. We want it all as moms for our children, and on top of that, when your child doesn't listen to you, it can be heartbreaking at times, but it's a part of their growing up days. हमने भी किया है, हमने भी अपनी मम्मी की बातें नहीं सुनी है. But then I believe that in all fairness, if you give in your all and you give in your best, and which I'm sure that all the moms do, the child eventually ends up fine. I think it is definitely difficult, but I'm not going to glorify this difficulty, because I feel being a mom itself is a thing of pride. I feel, yes, I feel blessed that I'm in this position where I can be a mom, because in today's world there are so many women who are struggling to become mothers, and I just have a lot of gratitude in my heart, so I'm not going to complain. We all do it as mothers. Our mothers have done it, our mothers' mothers have done it, so it's a big deal, and yet it's not, because it's amazing. So I'm very excited when someone talks about my YouTube channel because it's very new. Halaki, it's been there for a couple of years now, but last 2-3 years I hadn't posted any content, and I've just become active. It's been about 5 weeks only, and a new journey of vlogs have come up, and right from motherhood space to what's happening behind the scenes of my shoot and stuff. So it's nice, it's fun. I'm getting to connect with a new audience because YouTube ki audience is slightly different compared to the Instagram audience, and I am more of an Instagram person. I have a bigger presence on Instagram than on YouTube, but it's nice to start from scratch, to connect with people, and people are actually responding very well. So I'm happy. It's new, it's fresh, and it's nice. So at the moment, I'm planning to definitely work on my YouTube channel. Like I said, that takes in a lot of time because I have 2 releases every week, and in the last 5 weeks, I've done about 10 releases. So I travel for that. I plan my content. I reach out to people. I connect. So that is primarily happening. But और भी कुछ चीजें चल रही हैं, and right now is not the right time to speak about it, but it's gonna come up soon, and you guys are all gonna be happy soon. So this time I really don't know much about Big Boss. जब भी मुझे कोई question पूछता है, but my mom's a very big fan of Big Boss. तो आते जाते मुझे TV में कुछ ना कुछ सुनाई देता है. And Abdu, when he went to the show, I know that Abdu is a part of it. I also know a couple of people who are a part of it, but I haven't been ardently following it. But I find Abdu very cute because I recently started following him on Instagram, and I got to know of his presence just about a week or 2 before he went to Big Boss. I think he's sweet and he's so talented. So industry में हम जब होते हैं इतने टाइम से तो एक दूसरे को जानते ही हैं. Even if we don't know each other personally, we know of each other. So I wouldn't want to say much about it because I don't want to judge anybody on the basis of how they're behaving in a reality show, because they all have different reasons to behave how they're behaving. Maybe they're not like that in their real life, but they want to survive for professional reasons or whatever their reasons might be, fame or money, or to each their own. So I don't want to comment on this.